Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Game 3 of the Bombers season. So, Bombers win with a nice victory over the Ticats. Overall, I'm pleased with this game. I'm more pleased with this game more than last game and the game prior. I'm happy that we're 3-0. I wasn't sure if we'd quite get there. But here's the thing. So, it seems like we're finally starting to get some of the pieces together. Not everything, but more is starting to fall into place. Now, interesting thing about it is that Winston Rose was actually not playing today. We put in Houston instead, and he played quite well. And I think this is just because Rose had a pretty rough first two games. And as that star DB, you can't afford to be going down like that. And I think this is kind of Coach O'Shea sending a message that, if you're not going to play up to the way that you got to play, then, someone else will. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with that. To start the game, Ellingson would make a massive first catch.
Going around of a guy doing it in Dallas. No way. Yeah! Let's go! Yes! I'm telling you, Ellingson is the shit. Ellingson is the shit.
Greg Ellingson has been all I wanted and more ever since we got him. He has been the perfect replacement of Kenny Lawler, and arguably is doing even more of the workload than Lawler did, as we were throwing more to Bailey and to Dembski these past seasons. We finally did see Dembski start to bloom a little bit here, and yeah, so overall pretty solid. Leggio, though, would hit a 38-yard field goal, 3-0 Bombers, impressive for Leggio. But then Evans, at this point, I notice Evans looks rough. Evans is not doing great. He is having a rough time. And the offense looks good at this point. I'm overall pleased. Leggio would then hit another field goal, 30 yards, making this 6-0 Winnipeg. And then notice a great defensive play by Wilson to knock down the pass. Got himself right in front of it. Straight down. Nothing, there's not more you can ask for. Maybe an interception. There were a few instances where we really should have had those, but we'll get to that. Tiger Cats would get a field goal, make this game 6-3 at the end of the first quarter. Second quarter, Tiger Cats would hit a 49-yard field goal, tying the game at 6. The Bombers then would push forward. There would be a Rouge 7-6 Winnipeg. And then at this point, I notice the offense starts to slow up a bit. It's not bad, but it's just kind of average. It's just kind of mediocre. And this is where I guess the Bombers still have that next step they need to improve on to get back truly to where they were last season. Is, Caleros, there were times where he was going, I think he went like 20 for 30, and it's like, his average is better than, 2/3 on those plays. So you kind of hope that gets up to speed. And the running game, still a little slow, a little bit of glimpses of goodness here and there. But still, got to plow that through, and I want to see Augustine on more of those outside routes. But hopefully we'll see that. Then at this point, the Tiger Cats will miss a 38-yard field goal, and we take a Rouge, so it doesn't count. But it doesn't count due to Hamilton getting a penalty on this play, so it would still be 7-6, not 7-7. And then Caleros would then throw a pick. Yeah! But yeah, so, but then our DBs, this is, speaking of throwing picks, this is another area where I was a little bit annoyed. Our DBs had so many opportunities for interceptions here. We got a few of them, but there was about 3 of them where it went straight through our guy's hands, hit him straight in the chest, and fell on the ground. There is no excuse for that. It is, and I'd argue if it hits your hands, you should catch it. That's kind of the mindset that I've been drilled into my brain by the football coach I had is, hit your hands, that means you can catch it. And if it hits your hands, hit your chest, well, that's just embarrassing. You should have those. But is what it is. Hamilton would get a field goal, making this game 9-7 for the Tiger Cats. However, Nick Dembski would get a catch on the 1-yard line.
He must have been. He get just so happy. Yeah! Let's go! Woo! There we go! We gotta get it now!
And then we would continue for the touchdown.
There we go! That's it! That's it! Let's go! Woo! Oliveira!
convert would be good, making this game 14-9. And then at this point, this is where I'm really starting to notice that Evans really, really, really loves throwing that ball 18 feet too high. Like, there were so many throws where it wasn't that he was under immense pressure and he had to get rid of it, but like, there were so many passes that he threw that were just nowhere near the receiver, going straight into the sidelines numerous times. And, you know, obviously it's hurt with the lack of receiver depth compared to these past few seasons. But that's not on the receiver when it's 18 feet over his head. That's on your quarterback, and he's got to be hitting those. But that would be the end of the half. We would go into third quarter here, and it would start a bit back and forth. I'm not going to lie, this was a bit of a slow quarter. There would be a rouge making this 15-9 for the Bombers. And then, yeah, this is where I write, bit slow for both sides, not much happening. It was kind of just, you know, get a few yards, get like 8 yards, and there's a bunch of 3-and-outs. You know, this was kind of a bit of a defensive grinder between these two teams. And you know, the Bombers defense did come out on top. You know, I think Hamilton's strength is in their defense, as opposed to these past few seasons where they've been able to offer more on offense. I think it's in their defense right now. And, you know, the Bombers, they outdid them at that. So that was overall the deciding factor for me. But then I noticed that the offense finally starts to pick up again. So I was pretty pleased. And then Bailey misses it. However, I'm not mad at Bailey here. I really think this should have been pass interference. It to me was very clear that Bailey was pushed prior to the ball getting anywhere near that area. And he goes down, isn't able to get it. So I was bummed because he was getting really close to the end zone there. And, you know, I think we could have gotten another touchdown. However, we would settle for a field goal, making this game 18-9 for your Bombers. Fourth quarter would start pretty good with Willie Jefferson getting a sack. Excellent. This is what I want to see from Willie Jefferson. This is what I want to see from Jackson Jeffcoat. This is the kind of stuff that we need. Our defense really starting to stomp on them. And I'm glad that we sort of saw glimmers of it, and I think we could really blossom next game. I want to see it continue. We go back and forth a little bit. Hamilton would try picking up the offense, but right when they do that, Willie Jefferson picks it up for the touchdown. Yup, so throw is completed. He goes down, ball comes straight up. Jefferson says, "Thank you very much," and runs right into the end zone. Touchdown, Bombers. What a strange one. And speaking of strange things continuing, we would have an ugly convert hit the uprights. However, it still counts. So 25-9 on the ugliest convert you will see. And this is where I really started to notice Domagala having quite a performance for the Ticats at kicker, where even though he had a 30 or 38 yard field goal that he missed earlier in the game, there were a few field goals that were very impressive here. And overall, even under quite a lot of pressure on each of those kicks, there's a lot more pressure from the Bombers than you would get on your average kick. He was able to do quite well. And he went around 40-ish yards. He made this game 25-12 instead of 25-9. Leggio would have a good punt, and it would go actually right over the guy's head in the end zone, and there would be a rouge, making this game 26-12. And then Nick Taylor would get an interception to end this game. We'd then get the knee. Final score, 26-12. What do I think about this game? This game was good. You know, this is the first game, I think, this season where you can clearly and decisively say that the Bombers earned this victory. And that's what we need. We need victories that we earn, that we fight tooth and nail for. I don't care who the opponent is. I don't care if it's the Riders. I don't care if it's the Lions. I don't care if it's the darn Elks. I don't care. We need to fight for every win And I'm glad we're starting to see some of that fighting spirit come back, because that's what we saw so much of last season, which allowed them to go 11-3 in an impressive regular season performance. It's not really even 11-3. It's more like 11-1 if you think, because those last two games were basically throwaway games by us playing almost none of our starters and whatnot, just so that way no one gets injured before playoffs. So yeah, overall I'm pretty pleased with this game. We do, leg you out a decent game, but still get yourself a new kicker. He has not proven consistency to be able to do any more experiments with him. He almost missed a convert today. He made some really good kicks, but he almost missed a convert. That can't happen. Overall, the offense needs to start getting going here. The running game needs to do a little bit better. In terms of those inside routes, I think the offensive line does need to improve a little bit in opening up those holes. They're not as big as they were last year, which really gave Harris a really good thing to work with at running back. Oliveira has not had quite that benefit this season, so I think that needs to improve a little bit. Overall, we were pretty well disciplined tonight for the most part. It seemed like Hamilton was taking more penalties than us, so that's great. No yards penalties, which that's awesome, because those drive me nuts, because all you have to do is stop running. You have to put in no effort. And it's a 15-yard penalty. You can't afford to take those. But overall, solid game. So I hope you guys stay tuned for next time. I hope you guys, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Go Bombers, go. Make sure you guys check out my CFL league-wide content with Jake from Peg City Hockey on CFL Central. Link to that channel down in the description below. And I'll see you guys next time.